Okay, it's been a long day. How many of you have been here from the morning? All right, you deserve an award of some kind. But it's been very interesting. I learned a lot. I'm sure you did too. The key question we began with was, what's the outlook like for the emerging markets and what are the new realities? And what I'm taking away is something Sarah started us out with, which is it's not going to be the go-go years of the 2000s. I mean, that's probably not going to happen again in these markets. It was lovely when it lasted, but it's going to be a slower growth and probably a more difficult journey for all the companies in the emerging markets. On the other hand, the other side of the story is if you look at it as a long-term story, what I'm taking away from our various speakers is that these countries are still going to be important engines of growth of the global economy. And even in these more difficult years, the numbers that Saeed is showing us about how they're doing in these markets suggest that you can grow faster than the market as a whole, certainly grow faster than the economy as a whole, and even within your industry, you can grow faster than the industry as a whole, because there's a lot of catching up to do. And by catching up, you don't necessarily depend on just the overall growth of the market. You can grow also by gaining share. So it's still a very important set of markets for US companies. And chances are that that fundamental story is not going to change. And therefore, the dynamics within companies, where you have a Syed who's, look at his origins and look at what he's doing now in this US multinational company. And some of the things you mentioned, Syed, about Indian nationals running the Indian operations. You're almost there to getting Chinese nationals to run the Chinese operations. So it's going to change the character of the multinational corporation. And really the voice of the emerging markets within the leadership teams and in driving the strategies of these companies is itself evolving. And I think of it as the tail wagging the dog. Really, at some point, the tail starts to wag the dog. Right now, the dog is still wagging the tail, but I think when you're 16%, the dog is wagging the tail. But if you take it as in terms of share of growth, it's already the other way around. And I think that dynamic will probably continue to evolve, which will create interesting challenges for US companies. I want to close by thanking a lot of people who have made this program possible. First and foremost, of course, are our speakers. So let's give them another round of applause. We've had a super team of presenters, and it's been delightful to pick your brains. I also want to thank our dean, who's not here, who got us going and then disappeared. But I want you to know that he's still picking up the tab. But he has told me, next year, I don't want you to come back and asking me for money. So, which reminds me, there are some pledge cards. If you want to make a contribution, we accept with delight. A lot of people involved in the organizing of the event. I don't know if they're still here. Sarah, Liz, Jindra, they've probably gone off to do other things. But the main pillar of this whole planning and execution is Anne Benware standing up over there in the corner. She has worked tirelessly and paid great attention to detail to make everything come together. Thank you, Anne. Thank you all, finally, the audience, for coming. How many of you have come here before, for a previous year? That's wonderful. And for those of you who are here for the first time, again, thank you for coming. We hope you'll come back to our future events. Thank you all again, and hope you enjoyed it.